Jake Meyers. Jake-a-less Myers. Jake Myers, so Jake Myers. Jake Myers, Jake Myers. Jake Myers. Jakey Jake. Hunter Brown? Jake Myers. Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about Game 32 of the regular season, where the Astros win 8-3 over the Chicago White Sox. And I think I've already said Jake Myers so many times that those two words have just lost all meaning. Not him, though. He has not lost all meaning. This is a fascinating game for the Houston Astros on account of, outside of Jake Myers, they lost to the Chicago White Sox 3-1. That's not great. However, you include one fella with the name of a insurance commercial, and all of a sudden, you blow the Chicago White Sox to hell and back. And, that isn't even to say the Astros had a bad day, because, yes, Jake Myers was unbelievable. He had 4 hits on 4 at-bats. He had a pair of home runs, a triple, and a double, so 4 extra base hits. He was a single shy short of the cycle, which is the weirdest way to do that of all time, but, he does that. And had 7 RBI. Also, all 4 of his hits were hard hit balls. I think his weakest contact of the day was 100 point something off the bat. He ate them alive. Now, the Astros should be commended on account of a lot of people before him were getting on base. Brandon Rogers, who's the 8th hitter, got on base twice so he could score 2 of the runs. You had Zach DeZenzo, who would get the other RBI and also be on base twice for him. You had Victor Cantini. You had Yainer Diaz. All of these guys getting on base for Jake Myers, which is super duper important. That comes into play. Jake Myers simply had the legacy game of legacy games. It's incredible what he did. I want to say at some point he also stole a base, if I'm not mistaken, earlier in the game. I couldn't, I want to say he had well over 11 bases in this game. He was a monster. He ate the Chicago White Sox alive. I can do math. Wait. 4, 10, 13, 14 total bases for Jake Myers? I mean, he ate them alive. And he deserves all of the credit and all of the flowers. I've been very critical of Jake Myers, and I've been right. But it's because he's never really fully stepped into those souls as, the definitive outfielder. Because it's been this, 3-way debate for the past couple seasons of there's him, there's DeZenzo, and there's Jake McCormick, that's cursed. And I've always been a Chas McCormick guy. And I still think he has a very important role on this team. I still think he should probably get more starts. I still think he should be an everyday guy. However, Jake Myers this season is making a really good claim to hey, yes, Chas can be here. I am the starting center fielder. And as it continues, and I've always said this for Jake Myers, every video every time I brought him up, I've always said, yes, I want him to be great because that means the Astros have another really good player. This is the season that it seems like Myers is finally planting his flag as that center fielder. And in a season where they desperately need another outfielder to step up, Kyle Tucker trade, this is just beautiful to see happen. Now, you have the pitching, which Hunter Brown was garbage in the first inning. He gave up 4 hits in the first inning and 3 runs. Those were the only hits and runs he would allow for the day. After the first inning, he was as perfect as you could hope him to be. Gave up 3 walks after that, but in total finishes the day 6 innings, 3 runs, 2 hard hit balls for the entire game. So it wasn't like he was getting knocked around. No, he was in control. I also want to say he had 15 swings and misses, 9 strikeouts. The walks aren't great. The runs aren't great. It was a really terrible inning, and overall, solid game. I'm not going to critique him because, again, it's one of those things of, if the first inning didn't happen, then it would have been fine. If they didn't have Jake Myers, they would have got blown out. Well, yeah, but they do have both of those players now, don't they, Poindexter? Now shut up, keep looking at your nerd numbers, and keep talking about the stupid game. Then you look at the bullpen. How'd they do? Really freaking solid. Brian King picks up a strikeout in his inning of work, gives it a little bit of hard contact. It's fine. Brian Abreu, probably the best reliever used today, picks up a pair of strikeouts, gives up a walk, which isn't great, but you know what, 15 pitches, nice easy little inning. Brian Abreu is really looking good after a quasi-iffy start. The bullpen as a whole has looked great after I mean, for the majority of them all season long. But Brian Abreu is one of them that early kind of got shaky to start the season, but since then, it was a speed wobble. He's been perfectly fine. Logan Van Way picks up a strikeout and an inning of work. Couple of hits, but you know what? It's fine. The Astros pick up a very, very nice win, and it piggybacks a lot of what I said yesterday, where the White Sox are an odd team, and sometimes they just happen to win in a blowout fashion. It's nothing to be concerned about when you trust your team. Do you trust your team, Astros fans? I'm mostly there. They've given me a lot of reasons to trust them, and this season, I'm giving them more and more leash back in trusting them. And they're rewarding it. They're looking good. Players who we've wanted to develop for years now are developing. You have Hunter Brown, who's finally kind of just him. One of the best pitchers. Should have won the pitcher of the month, by the way. I will say, yeah, he should have won it, but that's about the extent of it. People who are actually upset about, like, he didn't win pitcher of the month, and saying things online is insane levels of copium, but I digress. Jake Meyers, finally starting to develop. It's this nice little bit of rebuilding the trust the team is giving us, because these players who have been promised to us for years and years and years, they're contributing. And not just contributing like, a little bit of WAR here, a couple of good hits there. They're contributing a lot of value to this team. They are being, in some cases, key parts of this team. And, speaking of key part to the team, guys, I need you all to understand how excited I am for tomorrow. I do not care who the White Sox are sending to the mound. That is not a shot at the White Sox. That is not a shot at whoever is pitching for the White Sox. This is all about... Forget about that team. What about me, I ask, as I prepare to possibly cry during a video tomorrow? Lance McCullers Jr., at 2:10 Eastern, 1:10 Central, or roughly around there, will be in the Astros dugout, waiting for the top half of the inning to end, waiting for the bottom half of the inning to end. And Lance McCullers Jr. will take the field again, and he will pitch. Not in spring training, not for a minor league team, for the Houston Astros. And I have so many feelings about this that I am going to pour out in tomorrow's video, and so I need to hold them right now. But if you can't tell, tomorrow's video is basically just going to be a Lance-a-thon, and I've come to accept this, cherish that even. I'm going to live stream at the very least Lance's portion of the game. I don't know how long I'll be able to be here after it, because I know there's some other stuff going on, but at the very least, while Lance is on the mound, I will be here talking about it in a live stream, and then I'll be here very late tomorrow night to talk about the game as a whole. But as for right now, that is all I have to say. So if you enjoyed the video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Astros.